Hello, welcome back to another Ruffa Sports Cards video. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking about what I would potentially be doing or looking to do if I was just restarting my reselling journey of sports cards in particular. Now, what I did back 2 years ago, actually pretty much 2 years ago, crazy to say that out loud, but I started listing on eBay. eBay was a big thing for me. A job I had at a local fast food place. Literally, I had a health issue that happened to me and told them I wouldn't be able to go in for 2 weeks. And then they kept calling me on my phone. And when a job starts to do that, I say, all right, I'm just not, I already told you I wasn't going to be able to come in for 2 weeks. I can't do anything else other than that. So I decided to pursue selling sports cards and doing that instead of, having to be this person that the, fast food place needed me to be and not see any reward for myself other than the the wage that you're getting. But also just after a certain point, working a job like that seems to be a dead end. Not saying, you can obviously progress and all that, but really how far can you fully go? Obviously you can get a nice wage and all that, but in the long run, are you going to be ever making, $1 million a year? Obviously I'm just putting that number out there, but I guess if you own, some of them or something of the sort, you can. But the biggest thing is that some people might be out there, same position. Yeah, insert your position there. You have a collection. You're wanting to start selling cards. How should you go about selling cards? I kind of lucked out. I'll be honest. I lucked out when I was about 4 or 5 months into my reselling journey of sports cards. I was listing on eBay constantly. I was listing 5-10 cards a day, and I was having decent sales numbers. At least, it was enough for me to, get by. I had a lot of low costs because I do live with my mom. Currently I'm taking care of my mother due to health reasons that she is having. I have been for the last 6-8 months, or 6 to 8 months. But sports cards and reselling cards have really enabled me to even survive and take care of my mother financially, or just responsibly, however you want to look at it too. She needs, she can't go to the kitchen and make her own food because she can't stand for long enough, and just certain things like that. Helping out with bills and stuff like that too. But yeah, so if you're in a certain situation and you have collected cards, you might be wanting to take that next step to build it to be a revenue. Where I would start personally right now, eBay. I think eBay is definitely, more and more people are taking a back seat, pulling away from selling on eBay. For example, Burbank actually pulled their inventory off of eBay, but I think they actually kind of went back into eBay. But nonetheless, Pristine Auction now off of eBay. A whole bunch of people, like big time guys, scaling back eBay, because once you get so high of a volume of seller and inventory wise and what you can sell wise, you're gonna be stopping eBay. Also, Whatnot's been growing and growing and growing. A lot of sellers on Whatnot, people seeing that avenue being a lot of very important to them in their business. So they're scaling back eBay because they're scaling up Whatnot. So I think there's a big opportunity and a chance for eBay to be the thing I would focus on right now, especially depending on your situation. That's how I grew. I really got lucked out. I'll touch back on that. I lucked out because they implemented the first class mail letter program on Whatnot, which is pretty much Whatnot's version of eBay standard envelope. When I had literally 4 or 5 months after I jumped into selling sports cards in my own journey. Now, I will share why I am doing this. It was my stubbornness was one of the biggest reasons why I want to sell sports cards. I, did it as a hobby. I got into breaks. I open product. I, this, that, or the other. I was really stubborn because I had spent so much money on doing breaks, and especially during COVID, where the card values that I was getting, let's just say that was a $50 card at the time, then they all plummeted. So I was looking at these cards now, and I was like, well, where's the value at that I got for the money I spent? And it was just non-existent anymore. So I was a little stubborn in that fact, where I didn't want to take that loss in the value. I wanted to build something. I wanted to, show that my hobby wasn't just, this negative thing in my life. I wasn't going to take that as an answer for me personally. That was one of the big things. Also, I have $20,000 in student loans, literally $19,700 and change, but student loans, luckily they're low interest student loan debt, especially I think one of them is like less than 4% because of COVID. So they lowered the interest rate for that year of COVID. So literally one of them at like 3.2 or something, 3.5% interest rate. But I'm also going to be making that into a series in the future too, where we look to pay off my interest rate, or my debt, my student loan debt, and also in particular, we're going to be looking to show some financial sides of running a business, and how I'm growing and preparing for retirement and all that. That'll be fun. We'll do that in the future. Probably by the end of 2025, we'll start that for sure. But right now, what I would personally be doing is know what you have in your collection. Say this is your collection right here, right? You have, autographs, on-card autographs. You're just a collector of everything, right? Random rookies of, QBs and stuff, patch autographs, some personal collection stuff or stuff you just liked, right? Then you have some, maybe some college stuff that was just cheap or something you found at a dollar bin, or it's like, how is that $1? Some of this sort. Your collection looks something like this. Maybe it's exactly like this. Maybe it's only 20 cards. Maybe it's hundreds, thousands of cards. Your collection more than likely probably looks something like this. Some numbered cards here and there, some patches, some random cards you might not be able to, get $1 for most of the time. Sometimes you can, but the big thing here is I would look for the highest dollar cards that can sell the fastest too. So something like this, you might not, it's shiny, it's gold, black, sparkly. They call this parallel a king snake parallel. This particular card has never sold for Miles Turner on the parallel king snake. It's never sold for Miles Turner. It's a perfect color match for the Pacers. This card is one of those cards I would look to list first. So let me just go through this little collection here and do it how I would do it. So these ones I actually know for a fact I'm listing on eBay, or, going to list. These ones here are my own personal collection. So these ones I would probably look to list last personally. I'm still a collector at heart. And then maybe you have these college ones. These ones are good college ones, so I'd look to list those on eBay. So once you kind of refine, what you have to work with, and honestly, if you're in crunch time and you're really, really needing money, say if you're starting off, you're a college student, something of this sort, right? And you're looking to, build up an extra source of income, even if it's PC, I know it's going to hurt to say this, it's okay to sell. I have a prime example here. I bought a card of Max Crosby, one of my favorite Raiders, like pretty much of even just playing time ever. But Max Crosby, it was a white Prism Select parallel patch. I think it was like a Sparks insert, Sparks memorabilia insert, but it was numbered to 75, and it was a color match for his jersey too. I got that card. I listed on eBay high. It was like, I think I was the only one listed. I listed for like $75 or so. I took like a 60 something dollar offer. I got like $50 to me. I bought that card for 20, $25 or so, I'm pretty sure. That flip back then meant a lot for the business and the bankroll, where nowadays, look at what that card's doing. It's doing about that $25, $30 I bought it for. Now I could go back and buy that card if I really wanted to. Maybe I could buy a better card of him. A big concept we're going to be talking about on this channel too is the value of your dollar, the value of your money, the value of what although, a card is cool, this is cool, maybe it will go up, but how much does it really have to go up in the, in the same amount of time as if you sold it? Say if this card right here was $100, what can you do and what can you try to do with that $100? Let's say you don't have $100 to spend right now. Say if your bankroll is $200 that you have to put into cards and you have a collection. If this card's $100 and it's in my personal collection, trust me, I'm looking to sell this card off. And that's what I'm doing first. If this is your highest dollar card and it's in your personal collection, go there. Go there. And I'm telling you right now, you should. That is what I did personally, is even if I looked at it from a blank slate. All right, I'm going to start this and I'm just going to list, I'm going to sell off everything. I don't know how many cards I have from my personal collection that I did from breaking and stuff like that. I'm sure I have a couple here and there, but the collection now that I built is so much bigger. I built a recurring revenue source. I built inventory for days, better inventory than I even had imaginable, had and could imagine when I was first starting this, listing cards on eBay. If I had a $100 card in my personal collection, I'm listing that first, especially if it's liquid too, right? Even if it's not liquid, I'm listing it first because you need that time to find that buyer for that particular card. So a lot of this stuff, better cards, right? That King Snake, very nice card. These ones, plain white envelope. Be okay with plain white envelope. Do not let that sway you from, selling cards. I know some people don't like it, but I'm telling you right now, these $20 and under cards, plain white envelope with tracking, right? eBay standard envelope and first class mail order program. It is the way to do it and the way to jump into the market and the ecosystem of card sellers, especially Pokemon and Pokemon and sports cards. So why do I say these? Get your money out and build your bankroll if you don't, especially if you don't have a bankroll, right? If you have $200 and you have cards and you have a collection, you have $10,000 of cards, get some cash, because what you can do with cash in an amount of time is going to be way better than the potential spikes of cards that you might see, right? Say if Miles Turner became the MVP, what are the odds Miles Turner is the MVP this year? Very low. You could actually sell this card, go buy a $10 slip of him to win the MVP, and probably get paid more money than this card would. Not saying that's a good idea. I'm just saying look at it in terms of that too, but that's not the point here. I'm just saying this card, although, you might get, $50, let's just say this card, $50 to somebody. It's a very nice card. What can you do with $50 and turn it over and over? Now, personally, this is my own business numbers and all that. For the first 3 quarters of 2025, I've had a 40% profit revenue based off of my profit number, like my profit ratio, from just the card buys, I'm pretty sure. So if you took all the cards I bought, maybe even all of my expenses, I might go after this and do some numbers based on that and then put it up on the screen. But I'm pretty sure it's the actual cost of cards. So let's say if I can turn this, $50 into, over time, 40% profit. Look at what that can do in a, let's just say, if you do that 5 times, you turn $50 times that 0.4, and it's actually 0.14 because you're still getting your this is on average, right? This is just my number personally. This would be, that would be $20 more. So 70 times that by 1.4, that would be $28 more. So you see how it's the power of compounding is what I'm trying to talk about here. The power of compounding here is really where something like this card, you're going to be able to go and compound that money, especially if you do it right. You do buys right. You can even have a higher percentage than 40%. Look to grade cards. I don't utilize grading enough. Grading would be a big thing for me if I wasn't trying to do this as a whatnot seller, if I wasn't trying to do this as a YouTuber, I'm gonna grade some more cards, but that's my business model. My business model is to sell off every single card and look to grade as minimal cards as possible. There's certain cards I have set aside to grade, but in all honesty, this card, although I'm guessing this could be a gem candidate. I have no idea. Didn't check it over. But the biggest thing is that even if this was a 10, I would rather have somebody get the 10 and I can make my margin. I can get that 40% profit revenue, or that profit ratio that I have, and then keep doing that, because what I have is the time to turn that money into more and more money, more and more cards. I have the avenue of turning $100 into a crazy over time, and especially stock market too. Look to, if you do this and you are a card seller, and no matter what stage you are, if you're using this as an extra source of income, if you are a card seller, and even if you're not a card seller, make sure you start preparing for retirement. Prepare for the unexpected is the whole thing too, right? You never know. I never know. This Wednesday, I could go on Whatnot and get $1 per card. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But if that does happen and I have all this inventory, I need to know if I have a plan. I don't even have a plan right now, to be honest. What I would probably do is, do more direct sales is what I would do personally, or, eBay, Whatnot direct sales, just certain things like that. Look to offload it to somebody that sells on Whatnot. Could be a very good idea. But biggest things I would look to do, grow eBay. eBay is going to be your number one thing right now, I think. Depending on how you can do it too. I know Whatnot sellers that literally put in probably $100,000 or so to grow their Whatnot stream and just absolutely get their name out there. Literally, one of the people that have like 75,000 followers or something crazy of a number, I know how they did it. I literally watched them grow, and I could do it if I had the capital. I don't have the capital to do that. Now the biggest thing to eBay, maybe look at buy sports cards. Look at Whatnot. Depending on where you are, look at Whatnot. It could be a very nice thing for you. But really, you're going to want to focus on eBay and sites like Buy Sports Cards, maybe like Collects, maybe what is the trading one? Ryan's Cards LLC Discord server. I didn't even talk about Ryan's Discord server. Ryan's Discord server, there's a link down below to join. If you're a seller of cards, that is a very, very nice marketplace to sell cards. I don't even utilize it how I should, but I'm telling you right now, like this King Snake, if I listed it, especially if there was a comp of this card, say $100, I could probably look to get at least an $80 offer on Ryan's Cards LLC Discord server. So there is a link down below to join Ryan's Discord server. It's an amazing Discord server. I highly recommend it, especially for selling. If you're a lot seller, sell on there. If you're a single seller, look to sell on there. I get an affiliate revenue, just so everyone knows. Put that out there. I get like $110, $120 or so a monthly, maybe even higher depending on the month. On average right now, just for my affiliate link in the description below. And that's pretty crazy too. You're not even counting affiliate links too, like that Ryan's Cards LLC Discord server. If you create an account and join their Discord server, you have an affiliate link. You could get recurring revenue from doing that. I would look for eBay, Buy Sports Cards. Ryan's Discord is a big one. There's a My Trade Post, I think it is, or what's the other trading one? Like trading card post. I might pop up some examples up here, but like ComC would be a good one. Those four, Whatnot, definitely at a certain extent and at a certain point, depending where you are and depending on how much you're willing to risk, your risk tolerance would be a very good one. Again, I got very lucky because I said to myself, the next opportunity I see for Whatnot, to jump in there, I'm taking it. I'm grabbing it. I'm going full force. So I got very lucky when I said that literally a month or so after, and when I first started uploading YouTube videos too, or like recording, and said, I need to record YouTube videos. I started. I saw the opportunity there, and I took it. The first class mail order program being enabled, I took it. I ran with it, and I never looked back. Right. So I literally Whatnot is my biggest business model right now. It's what enables me to do everything. It's what enables me to, it's the reason why I'm here is for the first class mail order program on Whatnot. But who knows how long Whatnot will last for me. I was going to make a different video, but I wanted to roll with this one because the market changes literally so much in so many given times. Depending on what happens, like Whatnot is cracking down on repacks. That's changed the market a lot. But we'll see how they kind of, it might adapt here at the end too. It's also the fourth quarter, so it's a very crucial and important time for businesses and all that, especially, depending on what you sell. Right now, people might be looking to not buy as many sports cards or certain sports cards they're cutting down on. So you might see lower sales. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully you're having a good fourth quarter. But you're really going to want to separate yourself from collecting and business, especially at the first point. Now, I personally, this is what I do. This entire box right here is jam-packed of stuff I collect. Actually, there's 3 cards on top that I got, custom cards given to me by a viewer. Shout out to you, Type 2. But the rest of it is my Mosaic football serial number PC. I actually have more, too. I have a little box over there. I have Brock Bowers. I have 5 2-row boxes full of PC cards. I have another box. I have another box. I have another box. I have quite a little personal collection that I've built just off of me doing deals and buying cards and collections in lots and just single purchases I've done for the collection. I literally have some right here. This is stuff that I'm not even counting in those, the 5 2-row boxes, in that box, and that box, and in that box over there. Those are extra cards. I probably even have a little more interspersed everywhere here. But like I have 2 right here. I actually just ripped this Topps product too. I'll be releasing a short form video for that. Maybe we'll do a whole pack or a whole box. I don't know, a pack at a time, maybe both. But those are my first new licensed Topps cards for the PC. But really, like, know your stuff too. This is a $30 card right here. I did not expect this to be a $30 card. Byron Buxton right there. Got to get it listed. Terrell Owens, that's a $10, $15 card, especially depending on the sale you look at. Number to 99, very nice player of the day. Know your stuff too. Know your stuff. The biggest thing too is if you are looking to actually do this and legitimately do this, you need to know your stuff. What I did while everyone was having amazing and, exceptional sales and flips during the 2021 and 2022 boom, I literally just watched. I watched what everyone was doing. I watched Whatnot shows. I actually bought some stuff on Whatnot for the personal collection and maybe to resell here and there too if I thought I could actually, get some value back or, certain things like that. Maybe I did a pack opening or two too. But the biggest thing is that I listened. I saw what people liked. I knew what was selling on Whatnot. I could tell you exactly what, especially back when that was happening. Like, there was Optic numbered to, 199 Aqua Prisms of Michael Vick. I'm just, I think that was a card I bought for like $4, $5, $6 in a top loader. It wasn't even back when they did one touches. Like, one touch is a newer idea back to, or before I was studying Whatnot. That wasn't even a thing people did. It was all top loaders and stuff. Now, my business model personally is I use new top loaders. Sometimes on the thicker cards, I can't get, like, there's certain, like this one's a little too thick of a stock for me to get a new top loader. But, like, this one's still a relatively clean top loader. Maybe it can fit in the one I have. I don't think it can. But certain things maybe I'll use card savers too. but I have like certain 100-point top loaders. But regular size card, all in brand new top loaders. Literally, I spend a lot of money on top loaders. Each quarter I probably spend, right, especially now, it's like $500 on top loaders or so. So in a year I'm spending $1,500 to $2,000 on top loaders or so. Maybe $1,000 to $2,000 depending on tariffs, or depending on what this or that. Technically now they're pretty much the same price as when they were, as when they were non-tariffs. But my point being is, focus on eBay. Look at some other platforms too. I would probably put Ryan's Discord above Buy Sports Cards personally. And I say this at the end, so it's not going to matter much of me saying that. But Ryan's Discord for selling, very much I recommend it. Like, if you're not and you are a seller, you should really consider it. Buy Sports Cards up there, because maybe you'll have a ton of these random, cars that if you list it on eBay, they're gonna sit a long time. You need to have thousands and thousands, 100,000 store to have these cards actually move at speeds that it makes sense to do. So Buy Sports Cards would be a really nice one. I actually use Buy Sports Cards. When I was first starting, I ended up actually straying away from that platform in particular, just because I grew out of it. I didn't have the necessary need to move cards on that platform. Now I can move that in a bulk progressive lot and just crazily offload them. But a big thing too would be look at ComC, maybe look at DC Sports. There's some consignment options too. Even if you're not going to be able to have time to sell cards yourself on eBay, on these, on whatnot, look for consignment. Consignment, especially if you're good at buying cards, if you find this card for $1 and it's a $10 card, you can put it on a consignment and, look, $2 sticker. I don't remember what I bought this at. I'm guessing it was super cheap. I actually think I don't know. I don't remember where I bought this at, but I think I bought this at trade night. No. I bought this at a card show when I was a vendor. So, card shows too. I didn't even say card shows, guys. But point being is, I just bought this because of the Red Cracked Ice Buckeyes color match, and I know he's a QB. I bought that in a collection or a lot buyout for like $1.50 per card. It's like a $8 to $10 card now. List that thing on eBay. Make your $6, like listing one card on eBay. If you don't have the time, you're probably not finding it. Like, how much time are you spending on, TikTok? How many time are you spending on, there's certain things you can do. Obviously, some people might not have a ton of time, right? You might be working 2 jobs. You might be working 2 jobs and doing DoorDash, and you legitimately just go to your house to sleep. That's a lot different too, right? But enjoy yourself a little bit, too. But maybe where, depending on your situation too, right? If you have that potential flexibility of, hey, saying, I'm going to clock out of DoorDash for, 20 minutes early, so that, and then have your cards in your maybe I wouldn't recommend doing that. Be careful with your cards, especially if it's like a $100 card. Maybe take the photos before you go to bed. Take photos of your cards before you go to bed. 1 per day, something like that, right? Find the time. If you're legitimately that person that literally says, I work 2 jobs, I do DoorDash, I go home and sleep. Go home, set your card up, take it out of the sleep, take photos of it. While you're waiting for a DoorDash order, list the card on eBay, right? Do that 1 time a day. I guarantee you're going to be better off than if you didn't list that 1 card a day on eBay. That is where I will leave you off. It is the actions of doing it. Now, look for these cards. Know the values of your cards. Be realistic with the values of your cards. Curb your expectations too, especially if you sell on whatnot. If you sell at card shows, that was going to be the video I was going to do, but I thought this was a lot better of one. just entertaining, you know, depending on what you think, you know, of the video. But again, eBay, priority. Ryan's Discord, priority. Those are the two biggest priorities for you guys right now, I think. Whatnot is very, very flooded with sellers, and Whatnot is very watered down. It has a lot more sellers than it does, you know, buyer pool at the current second, I would say. And that's actually good for buyers too, right? That's very good for buyers. What is it? Random sites like buysportscards.com, DC Sports, Consignments can be a very good thing, especially if you don't have time to, right? If you know that's a $50 card, you got it at, you know, $1 or so, you know, you send it to the consignment and hope that auction goes well. Most of the time, you know, they're going to do well, especially with auctions that have big names like DC Sports. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Leave some comments down below. I respond to every single comment, always. I always respond to every single comment. If I haven't responded to your comment, it's because YouTube shadow banned. I might have not got the notification, something of this sort like that. But I will respond to every single comment. But yeah, so leave comments down below with any question you might have, just anything in general. But that is what I would do. eBay, Ryan's Discord, and then others. I actually have never sent to a consignment place or anything like that, so where that can be really good, you know, I haven't used that personally. I've actually never sent a card to ComC also. So certain things like that, you just kind of, you know, you just kind of know because you are a sports card person or a card person in general. But I'm going to get going, edit this video, get it out for you guys so you can enjoy it. I hope that you enjoy this video. I appreciate you watching. Taking these with me. I hope I see you in the next one, and deuces.